see how we are writing the inner queries. So we are writing the query on main object is work order. In the work order, we want meter, material, charge material, all the child records also we wanted to delete. Appliance. So we write a single query using the inner queries. This can also be possible, okay? Then you can get all the records. You can write your delete logic. So records to be deleted on appliance. Here there are multiple objects. No, it is not directly one object to delete. So we are adding everything to one particular list, and finally we are just deleting it. Okay. So once all the child record is deleted, we are deleting the work order record also. So this is how you'll be getting the requirements. So simply the start method you will write the query, and the execute method you will write your business logic, what needs to be done. In the finish logic, you'll be sending an email for the success or failure. Okay, now you have written the batch. Everything is done. Now how do I execute it? Okay, if you want to execute one time or manually, there is an option called you can execute from anonymous window. Open anonymous window. This is the syntax. I'll just zoom it. See, so you will have to put your batch class name. You will create an instance variable. This is a different batch class. Okay, this is also one of the batch class name, and you will be creating an instance new batch of. Then you will use the instance database.execute. This is the syntax. Okay, database.execute of. This is the syntax, and here inside this, the first parameter should be in your instance variable of your batch class. Comma, the second parameter is batch size. How many records you wanted to process in a single transaction. Okay, so for example, you have 1,000 records. I'm setting here batch size of 1 means it will it will be running for 1,000 times. No, don't do that. So the default, if you don't give anything also, if you're simply putting this one, by default it will take it as 200. So per transaction it will take 200 records. Again it will come to the second transaction. Next 200 records it will be processed. So in total, if you are having 1,000 records, so it will be a 5 transaction record. It will process for 5 transactions. If you are having 2,000, then 10 transactions. You can also increase the count. By default it is 200. Okay, can I increase? If you ask me, yes, you can increase up to 2,000, but not more than that. Okay, you can increase up to 2,000. The max batch size is 2,000. The default batch size is 200. Okay, so you can put that. If you are having 2,000 records, and if you are putting the batch size is 2,000, then only one transaction only happens, and it will take all the records and it will process. What I'm telling transaction all and all is, it is happening in the back end. You cannot see that. So in a single thread, what is happening? So in one transaction, what is happening? Okay, so that is all about. Okay, now I have run this batch from anonymous window. How end user will do it? You are a developer, you know, maybe for testing team also you can share this syntax, then they can manually run it from this anonymous window. You can give the steps, but end user may not know. I want this should be run automatically. Then what I will do? So that is something called scheduler. So you need to schedule this batch. Okay, you are supposed to schedule this batch. How you will be scheduling? For that, first you need to write a scheduler class also. So now you have written batch class. Let me close this out. Okay, now you have written only batch class because you are implementing an interface called database.batchable. So it is a batch class and you use this syntax and it is running manually. Okay, fine. I want to automate it. So I need to write a scheduler class. How I will be writing a scheduler class? Okay, I'll be using different batch name. Okay, I have to show you. For the scheduler class, what you are supposed to do is you will be again creating a normal class, and this time you will be implementing interface called schedulable. You can put database.schedulable also or schedulable also, it will work. Okay, so implement schedulable. So here you can ask me how many methods it will have. Batch will have 3 methods: start, execute and finish. So how many methods will schedule class have is, Schedule class should have this method for sure, execute of schedulable context. This one method. Apart from that, if you want any other method, you can add it. But it will have only one method by default. That is the method called execute. So bash will have three methods: start, execute, and finish. Schedule will have only one method. In that only you will be scheduling. See the same syntax what you are doing, you are calling from here. Okay. So now from this scheduler class, the batch is getting called. But what time it will be running? Where I can define that? How do I tell the user that, okay, this will be running every day 12 a.m., every day 7 p.m.? How do I tell that? How do I schedule that? You have a schedule class ready, and from your schedule class, you are calling your batch class. Batch class will execute all your logic, whatever you have written. But how do I schedule it? So in order to schedule it, we'll have to go to, let me go from this one only. Okay. So here I show this option, right? When you come to setup Apex class, you saw the new button. You will also be seeing some other buttons. Okay. See, there are 4 or 5 buttons are available. Let's go to schedule Apex. Okay. This is the button you need to click, schedule Apex. So you'll be redirected to this screen. So what is this screen? So here only you will be scheduling your scheduler class. You will define your scheduler class name, at what time it should be running, which class it should take, all that you will be putting it here. Okay, you can give some names, the same name only you can give: schedule, batch inactivity, something, batch dummy records. So if you give the similar names, it is very easy for you to identify. If you are giving different name in every places, then I mean, when the project grows, that time you'll be having lot of batches, lot of scheduler classes, lot of jobs are running in the backend. It's very difficult for you to identify. Or you are creating the batch and scheduler, and you are leaving from this project, and someone else is coming, and if they are working, it will be very difficult for them to find out also. So always use the same naming pattern. So batch starts with batch key, and scheduler starts with schedule key. If you are putting batch dummy records, put schedule dummy records, and here also so whichever class is having the implements key, implement schedulable key, only those class will be visible here, not all the classes. Okay. So if you are trying to get, yesterday also we have written something called sample controller, right? If you try to find that one, you cannot see it. It will show no result because that is a normal Apex class. The class which has implement schedulable will only be visible here. I don't know what and all it is there. Okay, there are some classes available, so which is having that implement schedulable. So I'm choosing something. So here you can set your timing when you want to run, weekly or monthly. Weekly means every day you need to run, or only every Wednesday I want to run, every Wednesday, Tuesday I want to run, or every Sunday, Wednesday, Tuesday something I want to run, or I want to run every day. So based on that you need to select the checkboxes. Okay. Or no, I don't want every day, I don't want weekly twice, I want to go for monthly. Yeah, you can go for it. So monthly, when you want to run, first day of the month, second day of the month, 10th day of the month, or no, I don't want this option also. I'll choose this one. First Sunday, second Sunday, or first Monday, or first Saturday. So these are the options available here. Whatever you want, you can schedule it. Based on your business requirement, you'll be scheduling here. Okay. Then the starting date you need to give. From if you are scheduling from today, just give today's date, and end date we will never know how long this project will go, how long the client will use your application. We never know. So usually we will have plus 5 years or plus 10 years. So we just believe that at least this application will be active or will be used for the next 5-10 years. So we'll always be putting 5-10 years here. Sometimes we will also put 20-50 also. If they don't want, they can go ahead and remove the job. They should not come back until your job is not running anymore, right? So the end time you can decide on it. And so this is the timing you need to set it every day, 12 a.m. or 5 a.m. or 3 p.m. here. Like some document, if you see, people will ask you to run every 10 minutes. So then it cannot be done here. You will have to, in the scheduler class itself, you can write any other method I told, no? So you can write one more method. There you can write your own logic to set it for 10 minutes. If next fire time equal to system.now.add 10 minutes of. Again, you will call this scheduler class. So that is how you need to do. Okay, that is not possible from this Apex class. So once you click on save, automatically the job will be created. Now, how do I monitor this job? I wrote the Apex class, I wrote the scheduler class, I have also scheduled it, but how do I monitor it? How do I know? So, to jobs, okay, so you'll see different jobs. You have to go with Apex jobs or scheduled jobs. What is the difference between these two means? Apex jobs means whenever you are running manually, right, from your anonymous window, or when the batch class is running means Apex, the scheduler class is running means scheduled jobs, simply. So for the scheduled jobs, you can see it here. See how many scheduled jobs are there in our org. And for the batch, when it is started, who submitted it, which batch class, how many total records, how many batches processed. So if it is 2000 records, we are giving the batch size is 200. Then it will say total batches 10, how many processed, how many failures. Okay. So what is the submitted time? All these details will be coming here. So if there is any failure also, it will say it is failed, and the details it will give here. Some exception, something also it will tell. But it will not give the full detail, the line number, whatever it is. Simply it will give one liner or something saying this is failed. Okay. So from here only you will be monitoring the jobs. So far clear? Any doubts? It will also show once again. I'll tell you the difference actually. Okay, basically this is the one which you are which you are scheduling for the first time. You are creating the jobs, right? That will be shown here. For the first time when you created the job, today I scheduled and every day it is running, the job will be shown here, and only these two data will get changed every time. If it is started, okay, today 11 a.m. I started and it ended, the next run is tomorrow 11 a.m. So these two will be keep changing, but this record will remain as such. But here if you see, it will create for every run, it will create one record. So you can see the same batch also you'll be seeing here, my batch class, everything. So every time whenever it is running, it is giving the detailed details, like when, at what time, how many
that
details.
That is the kind of a job.
Right.
Correct. This is a kind of a job log that I understood. But what I'm just trying to understand is both Apex jobs and scheduled jobs are batch jobs. The only difference is that if we are scheduling them and we do not have to initiate to run them manually, that falls under scheduled jobs. And if we are initiating any batch job manually,
that will also fall here. Only the starting record will be staying here, but every time run will be captured in the log details. Here also only the start and the next will be keep changing. Even though you schedule for today, see the submitted date, if you see it is 2021 now. But it keeps changing every day whenever the batch is started and what is the next run. But if you want to see the detailed job of this one, then that can be seen here.
Achha, okay, got it.
Actually, I think I didn't tell it clearly in the first time. So my bad, sorry. So now clear, right?
So it's just kind of a logs only, different logs with different details, yes, not how
correct.
We are using.
Right, that's correct, yeah. Good. Who's that actually?
Deepti.
Deepti only, okay, thank you. Okay, so scheduled jobs, Apex jobs, okay. So far clear, any other doubts? If you guys are clear, then I'll move to one more job that is called queuable Apex. Okay. Now we saw batch Apex, schedule Apex. The one more thing is queuable. What is this queuable? Means it's a chain reaction. So after running one batch, I want to run one more batch. I want to run one more logic. Okay. For example, I have this current batch, okay, this batch example, this is running, it is completed. On the finish method, I told we will be sending the success failure log. We can also do you can call one more batch. Okay. For that, you cannot directly call the batch. No, because you are already in a transaction. The transaction is going on. If it is ended, it cannot be done immediately. So you have to put it in a queue and make it as a chain reaction. Okay. So if you want to call the batches continuously or any logic one by one, okay, then you wanted to put it in a queue and make it as a chain reaction. So for that, what you need to do is first you need to make a queuable class. So how I will be writing a queuable classes? For that, you will be implementing queuable interface. Where is that queuable? See, so earlier we implemented interface called batchable, then schedulable, then queuable. Now it is queuable. Queuable should also have only one method, that is execute method. Here you can tell what it has to do, what it has to be doing. Okay. So for this, the syntax is system.enqueueJob. Okay, you need to call the enqueueJob. EnqueueJob is nothing but your queuable apex class name. So what you will be doing is, from your batch class, you wanted to call one more class, then that should be your queuable. From queuable, you need to perform your logic. Okay. This one, I can give you a very good example for this. So, okay, you want to make a call out. Okay. Okay. You guys know what is call out? I think I told. So call out is something like you want to send some information from Salesforce to third party. Okay. So whenever the account record is created, I want to send those details from Salesforce to third party. For that, we will write a call out, HTTP call out. Integration and all you will be seeing later. I'll just tell you some information on that. So when you make a call out, I wanted to do it in the chain reaction based on the queuable reaction. Okay, so what I'll be doing is I'll be writing a queuable class. I'll show one example from my work only. We have done a lot of that. Okay. So work order, trigger handler. Okay, so basically what we are doing is whenever an account is created, you just think that account is created, then we will have this queuable class. This will get all the details. See, it is implementing the queuable and we have the execute method wherein we want to write all our logic. Okay, then what this will do, just see clearly. So from here we will call our file upload handler. From here we will make the fish call out. I'll come back how we are doing. Actually this should be called from here. We need to have the enqueueJob. 1 second. Actually this is a totally different requirement. I don't want to confuse, so I'm not giving more detail on that. Why? See how we are creating trigger class, trigger handler, trigger helper, trigger test. See the namings and all. So this is how you also need to follow in your project. See how we are calling your queuable class. So what we are doing is whenever an account is completed, this is actually work order. Work order is completed. We want to send all the files under the work order to third party. That is a real-time document for us. So what we have done is in the work order trigger, whenever it is completed, we are just calling our enqueue class, queuable class. See, this is the syntax, system.enqueue. Which class we are calling? This queuable class. New that queuable class name. Whatever the parameter we wanted to pass, we are passing. So this is our queuable class. It is implementing interface called queuable. Okay. Then in the execute method, we are writing the logic. we are getting all the information to make the call out. So if you are sending the data to third party, first you need the data, right? So we are getting all the data here. From here, again we are calling one more class. From this class, we are using annotation feature call out. So annotation I told when I took the test class, right? So at the rate, whatever starts with at the rate, it is called annotation. So we saw each test and all. Now we do have one more annotation called future. So call out equal to true. So what it will do is it will actually make the integration of call out. So you'll write some HTTP response method and all. No need to go deep into it. Just you wanted to know the enqueue job only. So what I'm trying to say is from your tuple class you are calling the future call out. So you are having the chain reaction. Yeah. So likewise from batch class also, you can call this tuple class. From there you can call the future call out. Okay. So when you wanted to put the put the logic in the queue and execute it, then you will be doing the queueable thing. So the queueable is very simple. Just that whatever you need to remember in queueable is you need to implement the queueable interface, and you will have the execute method by default wherein you will write all your logic. And if you want to invoke or call your queueable class, the syntax is system.enqueueJob of. This is the line which will define you that okay, this job is put in the queue and it will be executed in a small time gap. Okay, from UI we will not see big difference, but in the backend you will clearly see okay, there is some time gap happening after that it is running, so that it will have the enough time to make the call out and get back the details. Okay, so if we are putting everything in a single transaction, it may not work properly. That's what the issue we face. Then only we put it in the queueable thing. So it gave some interval between the call out, and also it gave the it refreshed the transaction. The next transaction started and the call out made, and it was successful for us. So for that you will have to implement queueable interface, and if you want to call your queueable interface, then you need to use system.enqueueJob of. Till that, if you know, it is well and good. So if you're taking too much things, then you get confused. So far clear? Any doubts? Okay, if there is no doubt, then okay, yeah, thank you. So if there is no doubt, the next topic is future call out only. Exposed to third party on the button click or whenever the record saves, right? So all this scenario, you will write the future call out. So in the future call out, mostly you'll be making the call out only. You'll write the HTTP scenario, HTTP things, and for this you also need the authentication details like username, client token, endpoint, which endpoint you want to get from to which system you have to send the details, right? All this you need to get it from your client. So this should not be hard coded in your code, okay? It should be put in somewhere in the custom setting, custom metadata, or it can be stored somewhere else, but it should not be hard coded in your main class because it can be hacked. So you need to be very careful on these areas. Okay. So these you will be getting from your client, then you will make the call out. So that is all about the future call out, and the main thing what you need to do know is, so it will not accept any list of S objects. So for example, I'll tell you one thing. So if you wanted to okay, there is a requirement whenever the account is created, I want to send the account details to third party. Okay. So whenever an account is created, it means that my triggering point is apex trigger. So in after insert, I'm writing this logic. So I'm calling the future call out. So from trigger, I need to get? I need to get the records. So from the trigger itself, we have trigger.new, right? Can I pass the trigger.new here, the list of S object here, to the future method? No, it's not possible. So always you need to send the IDs. Again, you need to have the query and retrieve the records. It is one of the limitations, and that is what the good asynchronous call. What is the time gap for the asynchronous gap? It will take in the backend. You cannot define the time actually. So if you wanted to see this, basically when the logs is generated, so whenever you execute, these kind of logs will be generated. So when the transaction is started, you will have one log. I think that is all future callouts. So this is the link. You can practice these modules also. So this batch of I already told how to check
काय बंद कर दो
So yeah, I'll share this link
हाँ
also.
खोलो
Go through it. See, if you are good at customization, first thing people will expect you to write triggers. So we have some more time. I'll just tell having DML operation. This is also wrong. You're not supposed to do that. What will happen is every time this for loop is getting iterated, it will call this method and it will count the stockful statements getting executed also. That time also you will get the exception saying stockful statement 101, DML 101 error. Okay, so this is also not a best practice. If you are calling any method from inside your for loop, make sure that method doesn't have any stockful statement or DML statement. Okay, that should be followed. And for the test class, always you need to use system.run as assert statement. For every test method, you need to have one single assert statement. At least one assert statement you need to have it. And you also need to put test.start test, stop test to refresh your kernel limits. That is also one of the best practices. You should not forget.